Hello everyone and welcome to Edinburgh in Scotland. I'm here for about 5 days, just here for a little vacation, and I'm gonna show you a bit around here in the city. And it's kind of Harry Potter themed because I'm a Harry Potter fan, not like deadly, but like I enjoy watching the movies and reading the books. So there's gonna be a Harry Potter tour. We're gonna see some Harry Potter locations and where she actually started writing her book. So this is gonna be really good. Welcome to Scotland. First thing I'm doing here in Edinburgh is exploring Old Town. It's very close to my hostel. Actually, my hostel is right back there, and you can see the Edinburgh Castle from my window, which is so nice. And now I'm just walking around because this is where J.K. Rowling got very inspired by the buildings and everything when she wrote her books. So you also have Victoria Street, which is right up here, and they say that that is like the inspiration for Diagon Alley, which we all know is like the shopping street of Harry Potter. But when you walk around here, you can just tell that there is so much more inspiration than just that one street. So yeah, that is one of the big musts when you come here. They even have a Harry Potter shop, so with official merchandise. I went in there and it's really cool. It's more like a museum than it's a shop, so I couldn't find anything that I wanted, but the line over here is so long, so everybody want to go in. Here in Victoria Street you find the blue shop up here. It's at the end of the Victoria Street. So I just overheard a tour guide said that this shop was actually inspiration for Flourish and Blots, the shop in Harry Potter. So that is quite cool. When I've been walking past it, I thought that this was inspired by Harry Potter. It was actually the opposite. Very close to Victoria Street, you can come and find Tom Riddle's graveyard or grave. It's not like in the movie, but it's what inspired J.K. Rowling to write about Tom Riddle. So not far from here again is actually the place where she started writing her first book, which is The Elephant. I'm gonna see if we find that as well. But first, graveyard. So I just come to the Elephant House where Harry Potter's born. It actually says that on the wall. So this is not the original restaurant where she wrote her books, but it is the exact place for it. So they just changed it into the Elephant House. I don't remember what the restaurant was. The restaurant was called earlier, but this is the place. It's closed, so you're not able to go in, but you see that there are several other people taking photos here as well. So it's an important place for Harry Potter, so you know this is where it was born. After exploring Old Town, you can come up the stairs towards the castle. So you can actually go on a guided tour into the castle if you want to, or there are also audio guides. At the moment I think just to enter castle is like £15, and then an audio tour is about £4 or £5, so altogether that would be 20. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to go up to the castle because there's an area you're able to go up to without paying to go in, just to like look out over the city and take in a little bit more of the castle on a closer view. I've heard that you can go in and that it's okay, you can even go to the vaults and stuff like that, like on a ghost tour. But I also heard that there's not a lot of stuff inside the castle, it's quite empty. So if you have a specific interest for castles, and especially this one, then by all means go in, pay for it. I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to show you the castle. Edinburgh Castle was built in 1103 and was supposed to be the seat or the royal residence of the Scottish king. As you can see, it is built on a huge and old rock. It's actually millions of years old. This rock is from a volcanic race. So the castle is on top here. It has a beautiful view all over the city, and it's a perfect place to have a castle or a fort. And when I say that, it's because this has actually been both Scottish and English property, because they were fighting a lot. Back in the 13th century, there was a lot of war between the British and the Scottish. They were able to take over the castle. Sometimes they were actually able to climb up this hill. How they did it is difficult to know because it looks very slippery if it's wet, which Edinburgh is very often. But it's a beautiful castle, and you can see it from almost everywhere in the city. I really recommend going to Netflix and watching the documentary called Great British Castles, and the first episode is actually about this castle, so you can see so much and learn so much about it. There is something called the Black Dinner, where 2 boys were killed. Like it's grotesque, it's a bloody mess, but it's very, very interesting. When you come up close, you see that it's not just bricks that they have used to build this castle, it's also rocks that they have sliced up and put into the castle walls. And it fascinates me how they were able, like back in the days, like about 1,000 years ago, how they were able to actually do this, build such a big and sturdy building, because it's still standing tall, it's not falling down. It's just really, really interesting, because today we are not using the same techniques, should we? So after visiting the castle, you can just walk down straight from the castle onto the Royal Mile. And the Royal Mile is probably gonna be on your list of places to visit when you come here. You get these beautiful churches, and you have lots of shops, souvenir shops, restaurants, bars, pubs, whatever you want. A lot of buses come here, and if you have a trip booked with Get Your Guide, for example, a lot of the places where you take the bus from is actually on this street. So it's a place to visit. When you're done walking down the Royal Mile and have enjoyed the churches and souvenir shops and had some food, I recommend going down the Cockburn Street, because then you go and find the Milkman, which is on everybody's lips, and then there's a nice walk down to a bridge where you can cross over to go to Scott's Monument, or if you're interested in some shopping, you can also go on the shopping street. On this street you will also find a Harry Potter shop, which is right there. So you also find Harry Potter shops on Victoria Street, and it said that the museum context is actually the main original one where you get all the best stuff. I didn't experience that. It was a very nice place. It's more like a museum of stuff instead of buying things, but it all depends on what you want. This shop is actually quite good, but there are several ones around the city, especially Victoria Street. So if you come down to the Scots Monument, which is a beautiful monument, it's like so huge, and if you turn around like a little bit, then this is park you can look out to, and it's a beautiful view. It's like amazing of the National Gallery and some other buildings back here. It's very Scottish, and it's what you want for a great photo. There are even some Asians taking great photos down there, and they always take good wedding photos, and that is exactly what they're doing now. So this is the place to come. Imagine you're first here in Edinburgh, you probably want to do even more Harry Potter stuff, right? So there's this place called the Cauldron. It's like a cafe or a cocktail bar where you actually go and you make your own potions. So you get capes, like the Harry Potter capes, but it's important to mention that it's not through Harry Potter or anything like that. It's just inspired, which is very important for them when we talk about it. But it's so cool. So you come in there, and then you get like an introduction. It's like a show kind of, and then you can choose whatever drinks you want to. At the same time, you get classmates. So we were 2 people going in together, and it was a table for 4, so there were 2 other people joining us, so we got classmates, which was really fun. So we had like a potion making class basically, and we got new friends as well. So you choose the potions you want to make, and they come over with the cauldron or some other things you need to actually make the drinks. It's such a fun experience, and I really recommend it if you're over 18 years old, of course.
Now, if you could please keep stirring that until all of it has dissolved. You can then continue. Just be careful not to drink down the fairy dust.
This is so much fun.
I will say.
Now, are we taking a picture or do you actually talk? Because that happens sometimes.
To ask for the Hellfire?
Yes, that's no problem. I've got you right here. If you just put that top on for me.
From the bottom half of your hourglass.
You pop this underneath.
Okay, firmly.
And simple rules are this: when you start to see liquid come into the top of this, take those tongs, give it a nice little stir. Keep an eye on the inner sack of the hourglass. When it starts to bubble, that's when you know to turn it off.
Today we're heading out to do something very fun. We're going on a Harry Potter tour bus. It takes us through a bit of Scotland. This is going to be fun.
And they lived in a town over near Whitehall, and that was started by a member of a
We're currently driving up to the viaduct in Glenfinnan, which is about like a 4-hour drive from Edinburgh. And the guide is talking quite a lot about the history of Edinburgh and the history while we're driving. Not a lot of Harry Potter yet, but hopefully there will be some soon. So we're on our 6th hour on the tour, and we stopped for coffee once and then 5 minutes to look at the dam, and then we went for lunch. And after lunch break, when we got on the bus again, he was like, oh well, the viaduct is actually closed because of a storm and some stuff that happened yesterday, which I should have checked before we left this morning. So we ended up not going to the viaduct, which everybody wanted to go to, and he's not talking about Harry Potter at all, which is like the reason for why most of us actually went on this tour, so that's not fun. So they redirected the route, and they're now, well, they just took us to Loch Ness. So I'm currently looking at Loch Ness. Yeah, so it's okay. Is this our monster? Is this Nessie? Or is it just a regular duck? We will never know. So we're not able to find Nessie, but we did have a photo shoot, so it's a nice location. It's just a lake, to be honest, so if you've seen a lake before, this is just as any other lake, nothing special, no Nessie, just a lake, but nice place to take photos. So the tour yesterday didn't turn out the way we wanted to, so we didn't go to the viaduct, and they didn't really stop for any of the locations of the Harry Potter, and the guy didn't really know anything about Harry Potter at all. So it wasn't the best day, and I feel like I kind of lost it, so we need to go and just take photos and do stuff here today. I'm not going to do any tours because I'm kind of scared of that now, but we're going to go back to Victoria Street and go and take a look at that, and then maybe go into Dean Village. That would be really good today. We have now come to Circus Lane, so it's just a beautiful little street here. Sorry, I got something in my, yeah, it's very windy today. So we come to Circus Lane, and it's so cute. It's like old town houses, and with the wind, it's just beautiful. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna show you around here. It's like, wow. And we're going to Dean Village after this, so it's like on the same path. When you're done with Circus Lane, you just walk through that, and then you end up in like a kind of a park. You don't walk too far, and then you end up in a park. Super picturesque, with like water running down the stream, a beautiful staircases, and there's like a monument. It's just really beautiful, and then it takes you down to Dean Village, one of the last very typically Scottish villages here in Edinburgh, and it's just beautiful. if you would like a good place to see the view of the city, you can go up to Cauldron Hill. It's not too far away from any of the other sites. So you come up here and there are several different things you can look at. Some are inspired by the Roman architecture, some by the Greek, which is basically the same as the Roman. It's even one of the buildings here are actually supposed to resemble the Parthenon on Acropolis in Athens, which is kind of cool that they're like taking some inspiration from that. And did you know that the Roman Empire actually expanded as far as almost up to Edinburgh? So interesting. So there's actually a wall you can go and see a bit further down from like further south from Edinburgh. From this view you can see the castle over there. You can also see some of the churches and other buildings and what I believe is the opera house. I haven't checked yet, but all the opera houses around are always really weirdly shaped, so that's what I think. And you can even see the water from here, like the ocean. And so much of the city. It's not a 360, but it is definitely a 200-degree. I just came across this building over here. It is Edinburgh Futures Institute, and if this is not an inspiration for the Harry Potter movies, I have no clue, because this kind of reminds me of Hogwarts. It's beautiful. So it's a bit behind the old town, so it's not too far away. But if you want to come up here and take some good photos, like this is the place. Look at those towers. My goodness. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and I also hope that you have an amazing time. If you're coming to Edinburgh, you should do it in autumn. It just gives you the perfect Harry Potter feeling. So watch those movies and then head over here, because this is where you get all the good feelings. And a good cup of hot chocolate is also needed.